Hello and welcome to Brave Souls Rewind, Ichigo Week. Today I'll be covering the Ichigo you guys have been most excited about, Dangai Ichigo, who I actually got very recently, so that's actually very convenient. Now you may be thinking, why do this Ichigo? After all, it is Dangai Ichigo. To which my reply is, it's Dangai Ichigo. He came out about 2 years ago, and is actually very old, older than some of the other characters I've had on the Rewind. And others may be thinking, why not Full Hollow Ichigo? He was next in the lineup. The answer to that is simply because the Arankar Heart Raid comes out tomorrow, not today, so I just kinda switched the order of it. With that said, let's get started. Now first I started with a normal attack damage build. Hahaha, no I didn't. Let's be real here. With an attack like that, there's no way that build isn't usable. So I moved on to the next build, the strong attack damage build. And at first glance you may think, this build isn't viable because his SP is actually really low. However, this Ichigo has a plus 50 Berserker. I think he's the only one with a Berserker that high, at least until the new Aizen came out, since his Berserker's at 60%. Still, it definitely helps out his case, and the damage was there. It wasn't a crazy amount of damage, but it did manage to kill most of the enemies in one shot, and those that it didn't, you can actually use your normal attack, seeing as his attack is already really high, so it can scoop up the rest of the enemies pretty easily. But the main reason this build works is because the range of his strong attacks is really good. He has a full screen strong attack 3, and the other two just have pretty good range. Honestly, if he didn't have this range, it might not be viable, because you would need a lot more strong attacks to take care of the surrounding enemies. But because it has such great range, and it does a decent amount of damage, this build is viable. Then I tried the strong attack recharge build, and I'm not gonna lie, I was afraid that this build wasn't gonna be viable. After all, it did kinda feel like the enemies were just barely dying with the strong attack damage build, so I was afraid it wasn't gonna be enough damage to take him out this time. But I was wrong, it was. Well, most of them. There were some enemies that didn't go down in one hit, kinda like the last build, but luckily the strong attacks came back really quickly. Much like the last build, if this character didn't have great range, this would not be a viable build. But lucky for us, he does. Not only that, but his normal attack isn't useless in this either, as it also has great range, speed, and pretty decent damage. To top it all off, because he has SP, his special wouldn't go to waste. It's not only full screen, but it also has bombardment. In the end, this character is still viable. However, I'm not sure if the strong attack damage and the strong attack recharge builds would hold up as well in inherited zones or droplet zones. I would still stick with the normal attack damage for that one, especially since he has a Espada killer. That actually doesn't help him at all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Only one more Ichigo to go, and after that it'll be the top 10 Ichigos. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know what other characters you want to see in Rewinds.